Here's something you are not going to see every day. That is a T-bar ceiling that is on the exterior of a building. Now, obviously this side is holding up just fine. Over here we have some type of water damage, and you wouldn't have this. This area would look like this if there wasn't any water damage. So I'm not suggesting that this right here is this damage right here is solely from the weather or some type of use. Otherwise, it would be all over the place. And again, here we can see it now. One thing I'd like to point out, if you did have a ceiling like this, and you do have some water damage, these you just pop the panels out, replace them, and you are done. Would be or the grid rails. That would be something that would be inexpensive to repair. Versus a stuccoed ceiling or something with wood siding on it, plywood. You got to pull everything apart. You might have some wood damage, something like that, or structural damage where you're replacing some posts and beams. That could be a totally different nightmare or animal. Now, I would like to point out that the metal is rusted. Is this a big problem? I don't think so. I think you could actually paint something like this or paint it before it actually gets out of control and this stuff really starts to rust, because you can actually see where some of this stuff isn't looking good. It's deteriorating. And who really knows the reason why the sections are missing here? Here you can see they're not, here they are. So again, water damage, no water damage. This is holding up, starting to rust, something like that you could paint. And again, so something like this, T-bar ceiling on the exterior, since it is not a common practice, I don't know if it's something I would recommend. I think it would be better just to leave the ceiling exposed and deal with that. Again, this is something that a lot of people come in and hey, I'm tired of looking at this damage here. This looks horrible. Well, in some cases, it's going to actually be better to remove the damaged paint and maybe sandblast everything and repaint it. Or if you're dealing with concrete, it'd probably be better to sandblast everything and leave it exposed than to cover it up with some type of sealing. And again, I see this a lot. I see people come in and, hey, this looks ugly. How can we fix this? Let's cover it up, without ever solving the problem or the reason why all of the metal is rusting, or you're creating some type of damage. I mean, this right here it's a structural beam. It should be cleaned and repainted. Anything else that is metal and it's rusting would need to be cleaned. But again, it's hard to say. If you have a water leak, if this is a roof and you have a water leak, we've got to address the problem first before we cover it up. And that's something I see a lot of. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not going to beat it to death here. Main reason why I made the video was to show you the T-bar ceiling and to tell you that it's not something I would suggest using if the manufacturer has a product that is specific for exterior use. Then knock yourself out if the manufacturer is going to provide you with a guarantee, something like that. But be aware. Some product guarantees you're going to have we guarantee the metal, but we don't guarantee that it's not going to rust. Well, why do it then? Why put it up? So, okay, enough of this. You make your choice whether or not you ever want to do something like this. And again, keep in mind that this is water damage. This is probably what it would look like if you didn't have some type of water damage. So who knows? Maybe something like this would be a cost-effective way to cover something up that is not currently a problem, that isn't producing water, and that's going to ruin your ceiling in the long run anyway.